Hi, my name is Conway, and today's topic is going to be about garden fertilizers. So basically, in fertilizers right now, it should be pointed out that fertilizer is only just a segment of a bigger picture. So things such as plant genes, good weather conditions, sunlight, spacing, watering, etc., does play other roles in amongst this. But fertilizing is a key component, but it's not the only one. But we're going to explain about some of the features that regarding about fertilizers. Fertilizers right now are usually comes in three particular formulations. You can buy them either as a granular product, all right, which means the granular product actually lasts a little bit more longer because it has a little bit more residual as it sort of breaks down. The other fertilizer we have right now is one that's basically you mixing water. So it could either be a powder or liquid. That's basically what we call water soluble. This particular one right now, generally speaking, when you mix it in water, it doesn't usually last as long as your granular products. Whenever you're using any particular water-soluble type fertilizers, especially some of the chemical ones, which we talk in a later program, it has to make sure that your plant is well watered prior to feeding your plants, because if you mix in water-soluble fertilizers, it may have a tendency of possibly burning your plants. And then the last one is what we call a control release fertilizer. This particular product right now with one application is good for several months. And this is the one that I usually recommend when people are looking for things if they're growing in containers. So you'll notice that with some of the other ones that we mentioned at the very onset of the granular products, those are actually meant for garden use, not for containers. So it should actually state on the package how much to apply in a given size container. When you look at fertilizers, there's usually three numbers that are usually looking at. So the three numbers are as follows. The first number is basically your nitrogen, which is used to encourage your plants to give you a little bit more top growth, greening up, and so forth. It's one of the ones in here right now that if you apply a lot of it, your plants can be overly abundantly green, or in some cases you might even end up burning your plant. So be very, very careful when you're using this particular type of component right now that you don't sort of use it excessively in there right now for it. But on the other hand, where we are here in the lower mainland, it does tend to be lacking around here because we get a lot of rain and it tends to sort of wash away. So that's your nitrogen. The next one is what we call your phosphorus. This is a particular fertilizer component. It's basically used for things such as your roots, your stems, your flowers, to sort of help give your plants your productivity in producing, let's say, more blooms. This particular one right now, once you apply it in the soils around here right now, it will last for a long period of time. But the nice thing about this particular product right now, even though it does last for a period of time, it doesn't become as deficient, but it doesn't sort of burn as in the previous number we talked about with your nitrogen. So that's your phosphorus. The last one we look at right now is basically what we call your potash. This particular one is sort of a mystery component, and it is a fertilizer which is used, let's say, to sort of enhance your plant's maturity. Let's say enhances your sugar content, get your plants prepared for the winter time. So this particular one right now can be deficient here on our west coast and our lower mainlands, but once you put it into the soil, it does stay there for some time. When you add your fertilizers up on your particular package, in this case, this particular one right now will amount to 45% by volume is fertilizer in the actual container that you're buying. All right. The other things that are sort of not accounted for, that other percentage which is missing because you think it should be adding up to 100%, are basically what we think of as your extra elements. So we think of them sort of like your vitamins, maybe some sulfur, some iron, some calcium, but they're basically used in very small amounts right now, but nevertheless they are essential for your plants. You will also notice on some of your fertilizers right now, there are other things in right now, which is what we call control release. So in this particular case right now, this first number, 25% of it is actually sort of a slow release right now to give you a gradual releasing of components over time. Future segment, we're going to be talking about some of the examples of chemical fertilizers versus organic fertilizers for right now.
Other than that, I don't have any questions, and we'll see you next time.
So go green.
Go green.